Lesson 4 Gravity, Section 2 Gravity in Space. You learned that gravitational forces cause objects to fall to Earth. So, why don't the gravitational forces between Earth and Moon make the Moon fall and come crashing to Earth? The Moon is falling to Earth, it just never lands. The Moon moves in an orbit around Earth, and the motion is falling in a special way. An orbit is the path that an object in space follows around another object due to gravitational forces between the objects. A thought experiment, illustrated by Figure 2a, can help you understand how moving in an orbit is falling without landing. If we look up here, we have a baseball pitcher pitching the ball, and if we follow the line around, the ball is falling, but it keeps continuing around Earth. In this thought experiment, a ball is put in orbit by throwing it. If you throw the ball lightly, it will travel slowly and move only a short distance before landing. It lands as a result of the cause and effect relationship between gravity and falling objects. If you throw the ball harder, it moves forward faster and will travel farther before landing. The ball travels farther before landing partly because of its increased forward speed and partly because Earth's surface is ever so lightly curves away from the ball. As Earth's surface curves away from the ball has to fall farther before landing. Now think about throwing the ball so hard that it flies all the way around Earth. The ball is falling the whole time, but Earth's surface is curving away from the ball at the same rate as the ball falls. The ball keeps moving forward while continually falling around Earth. When an object falls around Earth in this way, the object is said to be in orbit. Moving in an orbit is another effect caused by gravity. This thought experiment explains how spacecrafts are put in orbit around Earth. Rockets push the spacecraft up and then push it horizontally to throw the spacecraft around Earth. If the spacecraft travels with the right speed, it falls into orbit around the planet. The system of spacecraft orbiting Earth is a model for how all orbits work. The gravitational force pulls on the spacecraft perpendicularly in the direction that the spacecraft is traveling. The perpendicular force causes the spacecraft to accelerate. In this case, it accelerates by changing direction and it turns in circles, the Earth. The Moon falls around the Earth similarly to the way a spacecraft does. The Moon constantly moves forward while gravitational forces constantly pull it towards Earth. As a result, the Moon is always turning and falling towards Earth, but it is moving forward fast enough that it never reaches Earth. The Moon is just one of countless objects in space that is in orbit around another object because of gravity. In our solar system, gravitational forces cause planets to fall into orbit around the Sun. In our Milky Way galaxy, the Sun and other stars are in orbit around a large cluster of stars and a black hole in the galaxy's center. The gravitational forces that hold objects in orbit cause the objects to have similar motions, group together and form similar shapes. As shown in Figure 2b, the solar system has a dish shape because the planets orbit in almost the same plane. The Milky Way and most other galaxies in space are also dish-shaped. Gravitational forces form the structures in space because stars and planets have such large masses of stars and planets mean that gravitational forces are still strong enough to pull objects together even across large distances. So your job right now is to answer the following questions. Explain what an orbit is. How are objects in space able to fall into orbit? And you can find these answers back in the reading. Thank you.